Hello and welcome to the Cozy Holiday Fun Zone. We got little skeleton gingerbread men. We got Krampus. We got Loki. The 1947 Christmas classic, A Miracle on 34th Street. Let's talk about it.
And all I've got to offer is sensitivity, intelligence, and charm.
A Miracle on 34th Street is one of the very first Christmas classics, at least in film. It was released in 1947, actually in the beginning of May 2nd, so that's kind of weird. Was directed by George Seaton and won the Academy Award for Best Story that year. So what is the story? If you are somehow unaware of the plot of Miracle on 34th Street, I got you covered with a nice Wikipedia synopsis. In this Christmas classic, an old man going by the name of Kris Kringle fills in for an intoxicated Santa in Macy's annual Thanksgiving Day parade. Kringle proves to be such a hit that he is soon appearing regularly at the chain's main store in Midtown Manhattan. When Kringle surprises customers and employees alike by claiming that he really is Santa Claus, it leads to a court case to determine his mental health and, more importantly, his authenticity. Now, if you think that plot sounds absolutely buck wild, you'd be correct. This movie is really weird if you take a step back and look at it, which I feel like people don't often do. And just to clarify, we're talking solely about the 1947 original film in this video, not the 1994 remake. Anyway, Miracle on 34th Street was one of my mom's favorite movies growing up, so I was really familiar with it. And it was just this year that I was showing the movie to my spouse, David, that I really kind of took that step back and realized it's weird, guys. And since it is Christmas Eve when this video is going live, and since I was racking my brain for a video topic for a holiday seasonal something, we're just gonna go through Miracle on 34th Street and all the things about it that don't make sense. Or that just kind of rub me the wrong way. Anyway, regardless, if anything, this video can act as an excuse to sneak away from your family for like 6 minutes. Let's jump into it. So the main plot of the film is obviously about Kris Kringle, or Santa Claus, but it's also about this woman who is part of the advertising department for Macy's, and her daughter, played by a young, adorable Natalie Wood. The woman and her daughter live in an apartment in New York City, and the woman is recently divorced. The movie seems to constantly be making the point that she is kind of the only woman in her role, in her level of seniority within Macy's. There's all these shots of meetings and stuff, and she'll be the only woman in the room, which would be very progressive for 1947 if the whole plot of the movie wasn't spent trying to convince this woman that she needs to leave the city and find a man. She can't be truly happy until she has a white picket fence and 2.5 kids and a husband, obviously. Dear God. One of the main plot points is the little girl telling Santa that what she wants for Christmas is to live in a house, to not live in an apartment. How dare her mother be a single successful woman in 1947? And kind of to jump off of that, the mother is almost seen as mean and nasty because she doesn't believe in Santa Claus, which I understand is kind of the standard for Christmas movies. We are usually working under the presumption that Santa is real, and you are wrong if you don't believe that. But they really drive the point home with this movie. The mother not only doesn't believe in Santa Claus, she won't let the daughter play pretend or anything, which is just cartoonishly evil and kind of funny. If only she had a man to settle her down. Don't worry, she gets one by the end. Thank God. Another thing about this movie is that it's basically a big ad for Macy's, which I did not realize until this watch. I probably should have realized it when I was 8, because it's that in your face. And despite being a big ad for Macy's, it also has this like anti-consumerism message. There's this line about all the isms in the world, which, you know, makes sense because this movie came out like at the beginning of the Cold War. And the line, it goes something like, of all the isms in the world, I think consumerism is the worst one.
Imagine making a child take something it doesn't want just because he bought too many of the wrong toys. That's what I've been fighting against for years, the way they commercialize Christmas.
Yeah, there's a lot of bad isms floating around this world, but one of the worst is commercialism.
And it's like, you're in a movie about Macy's. I don't know. There's just some cognitive dissonance there that I find interesting. Which, I mean, we still do this. Like, this is always around Christmas. There's like ads for futons that are like, family is what's really important. And it's, yeah. Anyways, and to kind of piggyback off of the weird messaging of this movie, there's this really strange like anti-psychology bit where the psychologist in the film is presented as like this conniving bastard who hates Santa Claus. I'm like, yeah, Santa has this one line that's like, I respect the field of psychology and you are making a mockery of it. But that doesn't really take away from the fact that the main psychologist in the film is one of the villains of the film. Actually is the villain of the film, which is interesting. And like, just to switch gears for a second, I have a small little nitpick. So the love interest of the film, because the woman needs a husband by the end, lives in the apartment either above or below the mother and her daughter, and he tells Kris Kringle that he can stay with him because he has an extra twin bed, which isn't strange on its own, but when we get the shot of the bedroom, this man, who's presumably like in his 30s, has a bedroom with 2 twin beds that he sleeps in. He lives on his own. Until Kris Kringle moves in, he lives on his own. But his bedroom has 2 twin beds in it. What's going on in there? And I don't know if anyone knows more about like what was going on in 1947, what the norm was for bedrooms in the city. Maybe it was different. Let me know. Maybe people had 2 twin beds in their master bedrooms when they lived by themselves. And speaking of the love interest, he is Santa's lawyer, obviously. And there is a part during the trial to determine whether Santa Claus is real or not, that I just think is so dirty, which is when Santa's lawyer calls to the stand the DA's young son and basically asks the son, do you believe in Santa Claus? And he's like, yeah, I'm like 7. And he's like, do you think your daddy is a liar? And he goes, no, my daddy would never lie. And I'm like, okay. Then they ask the DA, is Santa Claus real? And like, that's a little cheeky. That's playing a little dirty there. And I don't think that counts as evidence. Speaking of evidence, the way this movie ends, oh my god. So the movie ends, basically the judge tells Santa's lawyer, we need an authority to confirm the existence of Santa Claus. So we need like some sort of government agency. We need someone with authority to confirm the existence of Santa. Now it just so happens that the post office has gotten wind of this trial. It's like a big news story. So the post office, kind of as like a little joke, has been like, hey, let's get rid of all of those letters to Santa that we have. Let's send them to the courthouse since Santa's there, LOL. So by sending these letters to Santa to the courthouse, the United States Postal Service has basically confirmed that this man is Santa because they sent the letters there. Which, imagine if we had that much trust in the post office these days. If they could be such an authority in like a national level court case. This is the Supreme Court, by the way, where this is happening. The New York Supreme Court. Imagine. Now look at us. Look at us. Who'd have thought?
Look at us. Hey, look at us. Look at us. Huh? Look at us. Say it again. Look at us.
Also, who'd have thought that back in 1947, it was a concern of politicians in the world of the film, that if they said in a courtroom that Santa isn't real, that would cost them re-election. That's like the judge's main concern, is that if he makes the verdict that Santa Claus does not exist, he will lose the coming election. Just think about like all the scandals all of our politicians have gotten away with and still gotten re-elected or elected. Saying Santa Claus isn't real is not going to cost you an election. Like, it takes a lot to cost you an election. And just, okay, this is the last thing. And then I'm done railing on this family favorite classic. I do like it. Anyways, last thing. So the very, very end of the movie, they seem to confirm that Santa is Santa by the mother and the lawyer guy driving with the daughter, and they find the house that the daughter wanted to move to. And it's kind of like, I don't think that confirms that this man was Santa. Because, okay, earlier in the movie, the little girl shows Chris this ad for this house where she wants to move. And then at the end of the film, Chris is like, hello, mother to this little girl and mother's future husband. You should drive to this address. I have a special gift for you. There's something waiting. So they drive down, and lo and behold, it is the house with a for sale sign in the yard. And I'm like, he literally just knew the house was for sale and told them directions to it. But see, he left his cane next to the fireplace, and he is the only man in the tri-state area to walk with a cane. Anyways, I just don't think it's very convincing. And I'm done now. I'm done picking apart your favorite Christmas movie. I really like Miracle on 34th Street. Actually, more now that I realize it's kind of batshit. It's about a legal case to prove the existence of Santa Claus, which also happens in Grandma Got Ran Over by a Reindeer, doesn't it? I should have made a video about that movie. That one's crazy.
Grandpa's gonna sue the pants off of Santa. That's what a grandpa's gonna do.
Anyways, enjoy your Christmas movie. Most Christmas movies are a little bit wild. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday season. I know the holidays can be very hard for people, especially given current circumstances. Stay safe. You got this. Happy holidays. Hello. I hope you enjoyed this video. Since it is the holidays, I just kind of put together this fun little something. I hope you enjoyed it. We should be back to some regular programming in the new year. Back to doing some more research heavy, stuff. Fingers crossed. If you like what you see, why not hit that subscribe button or give this video a thumbs up? You can even leave a comment. And the cool thing about comments is that you can leave one even if you didn't like the video. I don't care. Engagement is engagement, baby. If you'd like to support the channel, you can do so by becoming a patron or buying some merch. The link to both are in the link tree in the description. If you didn't like the video, say sorry to Loki. You're making him sad. Bye. How dare her mother be a single successful mother?